Doctor Who's New Who era probably gave us some of the most interesting Daleks to date, the Cult of Skaro, but more specifically, Dalek Caan himself. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the history of Dalek Caan, with the Cult of Skaro, with Davros, and with the new Dalek Empire, and even after his apparent demise. In today's video, we're going to be posing the question, what happened to Dalek Caan? Before the Cult of Skaro, Dalek Caan was an attack squad leader. There are many accounts and different variations of how the Cult of Skaro was created in canon, but one of the most popular was it was created during the last Great Time War. It was created alongside other groups such as the Eternity Cycle, and it was to match the imagination of the Time Lords. The Cult of Skaro were very much aware that they could not win the Time War. They ended up escaping into the space between universes, alongside what they called the Genesis Ark, a piece of Time Lord technology. The Genesis Ark was bigger on the inside and was a prison ship. It housed millions upon millions of Daleks. In a book titled The Dalek Handbook, it claimed that the Cult of Skaro escaped the Time War following the fall of Arcadia. The fall of Arcadia is something throughout New Who we hear of quite often and the Doctor speaking about. The Cult of Skaro, which consisted of Sec, Thay, Caan and Just, survived in a void ship. We saw the void ship in Army of Ghosts and Doomsday before the Daleks emerged, wanting to release the millions of Daleks in the Genesis Ark. Within these two episodes, Caan, Thay and Just sort of took a backseat, with Dalek Sec and the Genesis Ark taking priority, and then facing off against the Cybermen and other people. Within Doomsday, we are told quite a bit about the Cult of Skaro and how powerful they are. The 10th Doctor, when confronting the Cult of Skaro, says that they were above the Emperor himself.
Well, you were just a legend.
Who are they?
A secret order. Above and beyond the Emperor himself. Their job was to imagine. Think as the enemy thinks. Even dare to have names. All to find new ways of killing.
By the end of the episode, the Doctor manages to reopen the Void Breach and send all the Daleks from the Genesis Ark back into the Void. However, the Cult of Skaro, including Dalek Caan, managed to survive. The Cult of Skaro use an emergency temporal shift which takes them to Manhattan in the 1930s, where the Daleks come up with new ways to try and survive. Dalek Sec actually ends up becoming a Dalek-human hybrid. The Daleks experiment in this episode, trying to recreate Daleks before settling on a Dalek-human army, which eventually backfires on the Daleks, killing Thay and Just. But before this, Dalek Sec is also killed, leaving Caan the sole survivor.
Yeah. Just think about it, Dalek. What was your name?
Dalek Caan!
Dalek Caan. Your entire species has been wiped out. And now the Cult of Skaro has been eradicated.
Dalek Caan ends up again using an emergency temporal shift which takes him back into the Time War. Time Lords foresaw that Dalek Caan would use an emergency temporal shift which would take him back into the Time War, and it terrified them that a singular bronze Dalek would be able to do this. While Dalek Caan was here, he went mad and saved Davros. By doing this, Davros from his own flesh created a whole brand new Dalek Empire. What Dalek Caan did when he went back into the Time War is fairly unknown, apart from saving Davros and the stuff we told in the episode. It's left to the viewer's imagination. And I would love to see something more done with Dalek Caan during this time. But this is what we do know about it. Dalek Caan was the first being to ever breach the time lock put on the Time War. There could have been kings tore apart his casing from the comic Dalek Caan. He saved Davros from the death in the jaws of the Nightmare Child, but at great cost. Dalek Caan saw the whole of time and space, gaining the ability to see both the past, present and future with great clarity. He and Davros then created the new Dalek Empire, using cells from Davros' own body. I think it's a missed opportunity that no expanded media properly has covered Dalek Caan going back into the Time War. There is so much story there, and I know there's been stories on YouTube posted and animations that show Dalek Caan's adventure, but I feel like it's such a missed opportunity that we've never seen anything more from this. Because Dalek Caan going back into the Time War, being the first being to do so, is very interesting. This then takes us up to the series 4 finale, Stolen Earth and Journey's End, where we see that Dalek Caan has gone insane and he's with Davros in the quote-unquote Dalek's basement, and he's also spouting riddles about the future and about the death of one of the Doctor's companions. We also know from these episodes that the Supreme Dalek and other Daleks find Dalek Caan as an abomination and genuinely despise him, with Davros having some regard towards Caan because he is the saviour of the Dalek.
Dalek Caan is uneasy. The abomination is insane. So respect. Without Dalek Caan, none of this would be possible. And he speaks only the truth. He is coming.
Dalek Caan's characterization in these 2 episodes got boosted. He was insane, and he also hated the Daleks. From what he saw in the Time War, he was disgusted by his own kind. I like that they made him this insane prophet, and it really worked for his character. I think he's probably the most interesting Dalek in this episode, and it's a shame that we didn't see more of him. By the end of the episode, Dalek Caan is left in the flames with Davros, where he says that there will be one more person who dies, talking about Donna. What I find interesting about Dalek Caan's involvement in the finale is that he's the one that saves the Daleks, but he's also the one that pressured the Meta-Crisis Doctor into destroying the Daleks forever. He ended up turning on his own kind, just like his own kind ended up turning on him after his sacrifice. It's said that in the Dalek Caan comic, that he had previously predicted that he would dance through the fire, something which he presumably didn't do because he was stuck in place. For many years after this episode, I and many others speculated that Dalek Caan had actually survived the Crucible blowing up, and that's something that I still kind of want to believe, because I feel like they can do a lot more with Dalek Caan. However, I think it's pretty realistic to assume that he did die on the Crucible. I do like Dalek Caan's ending here though, that this is the Dalek that sacrificed everything to rescue the remainder of the Daleks and Davros, but he was also the one to take everything away and pressure the Meta-Crisis Doctor into doing so. But at the same time, I felt like they could have still done so much more with Dalek Caan, because he didn't function like other Daleks by this point. He was insane, he was a prophet, and I feel like they could have used him for a lot more in the future. But what are your thoughts on Dalek Caan? Do you want to see more expanded media around Dalek Caan? Do you think his character can be developed more? And do you find Dalek Caan an interesting Dalek? Because I certainly do. He's probably one of my favourite villains in New Who, because I just like how they developed him over the course of a few series, and the episodes of his are pretty memorable, and Dalek Caan is a pretty memorable Dalek. But if you did enjoy today's video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and if this video gets over 3,000 views, I will be doing a What Happened to the Cult of Skaro, because the Cult of Skaro, again, is probably one of my favourite things in New Who about the Daleks. So please, leave a like and subscribe. But I've been your host Samuel, and I'll catch you in the next YouTube video.
Both of you.
This I have foreseen in the wild, the wind. The Doctor will be here as witness. At the end of everything, the Doctor and his precious children of time